You are standing in an arrivals hall that looks the same as every other airport in the world, yet somehow feels heavier than all of them. The lights are too bright, the air feels stale, your body is tired from the flight, and your phone battery is barely holding on. Around you, people are moving fast, some confident, some confused, some already smiling because they know they are almost done. Ahead of you is the immigration line, glass booths, uniformed officers, unreadable faces, and in that moment, almost every traveler feels the same thing, a quiet tension in the chest. Not because they did something wrong, but because airports are designed to make you feel like you are being evaluated. And the truth is, you are. When an immigration officer looks up and gestures for you to step forward, that single movement carries more weight than most people realize. It feels casual, routine, ordinary, but that moment is not random. By the time you reach the counter, the system has already formed an initial opinion about you. Not a final decision, but a direction. And this is where most travelers misunderstand how immigration works. They think the interview starts when the questions start. It doesn't. The interview starts the second you enter the controlled area. Immigration officers are not improvising. They are not guessing. They are not asking questions just to make conversation. They are following patterns, behavioral patterns, travel patterns, risk patterns. Your posture, your pace, your awareness, the way you hold your passport, the way you look at the officer before they even speak, all of it is information. Most people walk up thinking documents are everything. Documents matter, yes, but behavior decides how deeply those documents get examined. The first thing officers test is composure, not confidence in a loud sense, but control. Are you steady or scattered? Are you prepared or reactive? Do you look like someone who expected this moment or someone who is hoping to survive it? This is why two people with the same passport can have completely different experiences at the same airport on the same day. The first question almost everyone hears is simple. May I see your passport? Most people don't realize this is not a document request. It is a behavioral test. Officers watch how quickly you respond, how smoothly you hand it over, whether you fumble, whether you apologize, whether you joke, whether your hands shake slightly as you pass it across the counter. These micro signals are not dramatic, but they are noticed. A person who digs through their bag, unzips 3 pockets, mutters apologies, and finally pulls out a passport already looks unprepared. Not illegal, not guilty, just unprepared. And unprepared travelers get more questions because unpredictability equals risk in controlled systems. Seasoned travelers do one thing differently here. Their passport is already accessible, not buried, not wrapped in papers, not mixed with receipts and boarding passes. When the officer asks, the response is immediate and calm. Here it is, or simply handing it over without words, no explanations, no humor. Airports are not the place for personality, they are the place for clarity. Once that first interaction happens, the officer moves to the question that quietly shapes the rest of the interview. How long will you stay? This sounds harmless, but it is one of the most important questions you will be asked. Not because of the number itself, but because of how you deliver it. Many travelers sabotage themselves here without realizing it. They hesitate, they calculate out loud, they say things like around 2 weeks or maybe 10 days, or it depends, and the moment uncertainty enters your answer, the officer's attention sharpens. Immigration systems are built around overstays. Overstays create enforcement problems, so officers are trained to listen for flexibility. A traveler who knows exactly how long they will stay sounds structured. A traveler who sounds open, and it sounds like someone who might test boundaries. You do not need to justify your stay. You do not need to explain events, weddings, plans, or possibilities. A clean answer, like 10 days or 3 weeks or 1 month for study, does more for you than a detailed story ever will. Precision signals control, control signals low risk. The next question often follows naturally. What is the purpose of your visit? This is where people get nervous because they think they need to explain themselves. They don't. By the time you reach the booth, your purpose is already predicted by your visa type, booking history, and travel pattern. The officer is not asking to learn, they are asking to confirm alignment. This is where over-explaining becomes dangerous. Many travelers say things like, I'm visiting friends, or I'm just looking around, or I might attend a conference if I get time. These answers sound harmless to the speaker, but vague to the system. Vagueness creates space for follow-up questions. Follow-up questions extend the interview. Extended interviews increase the chance of inconsistency. The safest answers live in simple categories that immigration instantly recognizes: tourism, business, education, visiting family, short, direct, aligned with your visa. Anything more than that should only be given if asked. What most people don't understand is that immigration interviews are not about telling a story. They are about maintaining consistency. Your words must match your documents, your visa, your luggage, and your timeline. A mismatch does not mean denial, but it does mean delay. Then comes a question that seems casual, but is deeply strategic. What do you do for work? This is not curiosity. This is a stability check. Employment signals structure. Structure signals roots. Roots signal a reason to leave when your stay ends. Officers are not judging your job title. They do not care if you are a manager or a cashier. They care whether your life sounds coherent. A clear job answer suggests predictable behavior. A messy answer suggests uncertainty. People hurt themselves here by oversharing. They joke, they downplay, they explain career transitions that were never asked about. Saying I'm a software engineer, or I work in marketing, or I'm a student is enough. If you are between jobs, the key is framing. Recently finished a role and taking a short vacation before starting the next one sounds controlled. I'm retired and traveling for a few weeks sounds stable. Rambling about uncertainty does not. As the conversation continues, officers often ask whether you are traveling alone. Again, this is not curiosity. The system already knows. This question checks alignment between data and speech. A straight yes or no is all that is required. Silence after your answer is not awkward. It is powerful. Nervous travelers feel the need to fill silence. Confident travelers let it exist. Family questions often follow. Do you have any family here? This question scares people because they think family equals suspicion. That's not true. Family equals connection. Officers measure connection, not morality. Saying no clearly is fine. Saying yes calmly is also fine. The problem is defensive energy. Over-explaining, swearing honesty, or visibly tensing up is what triggers deeper inquiry. Officers are trained to watch reactions more than content. Then comes a question many people think is a trap. Have you been here before? It's not a trap. It's a consistency check. Your travel history is visible on the screen. The officer wants to see if your memory and your words match the data. A simple yes or no with a general time reference is enough. This is not the moment to reminisce. This is the moment to stay grounded. As you move forward, customs-related questions appear. Do you have anything to declare? This question causes unnecessary fear because people misunderstand it. Declaring items does not automatically mean trouble. Failing to declare items does. Officers respect honesty delivered calmly. If you have nothing to declare, say it cleanly. If you do, say yes and wait. Talking yourself into trouble is more common than carrying restricted items. Accommodation questions come next. Where will you be staying? This is not a memory test. It is a preparedness test. Officers want to see that you know where you are going. Hotel name, city, or staying with a relative is enough. You do not need an address recital. You do not need to scroll frantically through emails. That frantic movement signals lack of preparation, not guilt. Finally, the question that seals the interview. Can I see your return or onward ticket? This question is about intention. Intention to leave. Officers do not care if the ticket is refundable or changeable. They care that it exists and that you can produce it without panic. Prepared travelers save their tickets offline or keep a printed copy. Unprepared travelers dig through dead phones and dying batteries. Guess who gets delayed? Once this question is answered smoothly, most interviews end quickly. A stamp, a nod, a gesture toward the exit, and just like that, the tension dissolves. But there is one truth that needs to be said clearly. Getting pulled into secondary inspection is not a punishment. It is a verification process. Many people who are completely legal and compliant end up there because of mismatches, stress signals, or system flags. What makes secondary inspection faster or slower is behavior. Calm travelers clear faster. Defensive travelers get stuck longer. Inside secondary, the same rules apply. Answer what is asked. Provide documents when requested. Do not volunteer stories. Do not argue tone. Officers are not emotionally invested. They are procedurally invested. Here is the reality most people never hear. Immigration rewards boring behavior, predictable answers, controlled speech, neutral body language. The more dramatic you are, the more attention you attract. Drama is not confidence. Drama is noise. If you want to move through airports smoothly in 2026 and beyond, you need to understand this one principle. Immigration is not about proving innocence. It is about demonstrating readiness. Ready documents, ready answers, ready mindset. Walk up like you belong there because legally you do. Speak like someone who knows their plan. Stop talking when the answer is complete. Let silence work for you. Control your pace. Control your tone. Control your body language. This is not about tricking the system. This is about respecting how the system works. When you understand it, fear disappears. And when fear disappears, scrutiny decreases. Most travelers fail immigration not because they are wrong, but because they are unprepared for pressure. Preparation turns pressure into routine. Routine turns interviews into seconds. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is quiet. And in airports, quiet confidence is clearance.